Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. A quote by Friedrich Nietzsche, which many believe to be the inspiration for Sir Artorias. And I tend to believe that too, because Nietzsche also said, we should consider every day lost on which we have not danced at least once. And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. And Artorias sure seems to hear that music. What's up everyone? Welcome to the bonus episode for Let's Play Dark Souls. So we'll jump into it with what does not carry over in New Game Plus and Dark Souls. So Embers don't carry over and Smiths don't retain Embers, keys don't carry over, including the Crest of Artorias. The Master Key does carry over. Repair boxes and stuff reset. The bottomless box does not reset. You retain the contents through all the New Game Pluses. Regression items like the Artorias Covenant Ring that lets you enter the Abyss to fight the Four Kings does not carry over. And I think Sins also do not carry over, but I'm not completely sure about that. Snuggly's trade limit resets, so if you've traded for something with Snuggly the Crow in New Game, you can trade for that item again in New Game Plus. NPCs respawn, so before Gwyn, just go ahead and murder all the NPCs if you want. Lizards respawn. You can buy Gwyn's armor from Domhnall in New Game Plus. Bonfires remain kindled, even though you lose the right of kindling. Upgrades carry over, including Estus upgrades. Enemies do more damage in New Game Plus. They have more health. They drop more souls. Equipment and souls carry over, obviously. Covenant status stays the same, except for betrayals. This chest out here, a lot of people wonder why this chest is here. That it's the only, to my knowledge, the only open chest in the game as soon as you find it. The purpose of that chest back here is if you drop or destroy a progression item, an item that you'd need to progress through the story, it'll respawn in that box. Like if you destroy the Artorias Covenant Ring or somehow lose it, it shows up in the bottom, in the chest back there. So now we're going to go and talk to Gwynevere real quick.
Since the day Father his wounded obscureth, I have awaited thee, once living, now undead, and a fitting heir to Father Gwyn thou art. O chosen undead, and beseech thee, succeed Lord Gwyn, and inheriteth the fire of our world, a grave and arduous test of mental, yea, it shall be. Indeed, we had felt the warmth of fire, its radiance and the life it sustaineth. Without fire, all shall be a frigid and frightful dark. Now thou shalt go forth, chosen undead. May thou be one with the sunlight forevermore.
And the real reason I came up here was to shoot her. So, when you kill the illusion, when you destroy the illusion of Princess Gwynevere, you turn Anor Londo dark. A lot of the enemies in Anor Londo are illusory, so they will also disappear with the illusion of Gwynevere. In their stead, you'll fight a couple new enemies. There are a few Baronite Knights that are chilling out in front of the hallway. If you're in Dark Anor Londo and you are on this step of the Anastasia quest, then you can, at this point in time, right in this room up here, you can invade Lautrec, and that'll give you the Firelink, Firekeeper's unique Firekeeper soul. That way you can bring her back to life. Turning Anor Londo dark also causes the Firekeeper for Anor Londo to become hostile, so just be aware of that. Here's a bit of a side quest related thing that I kind of forgot about. If you go directly here after the Tomb of Giants, after you find Rhea down there, if you come up here to the parish directly from that and you don't go to another area and complete that area first, she will still be alive up here. She eventually, after that point in time, goes hollow in the Duke's archives and you can find her down there. But it appears you find humanity and a pendant up here. telling us that Rhea was killed in the Undead Parish. So now we know Petrus was said to be drenched in sin. We're going to go down there and kill him. We're going to kill him and ask questions later. Investigate the contents of his body and see if he maybe had anything to do with it. Spoilers, he did. He killed Rhea.
Ah, oh, you. Have you seen Milady? Oh, blast, where might she be? And would she be safe? Oh, this can't be. It can't end like this.
And the ivory catalyst that Petrus drops is an item that is unique to Rhea, which is supposed to be the final clue that Petrus is in fact responsible for Rhea's death. And now I'm back out here in this little courtyard area off from the main annex in Painted World. The main courtyard, I should say, where all the phalanxes are. I've shown this location off in game before when I was doing the Painted World, but remember I had forgotten to come here before I had killed Priscilla, so I did not get the chance to get invaded by Xanthus King Jeremiah. No, he's throwing fireballs the wrong way. That's not the way you kill me, buddy. Nope, that is. Yeah, so he has a couple of attacks. He has that Flame Whip, he has a great Fireball, and he has Firestorm, which is his most annoying attack, and he seems to spam it a lot more the lower he gets on health, and it just prevents you from getting near him. And once you kill him, I'm gonna forget to show this, but you will find all of his gear, including his goofy old monk Demon Souls throwback helmet, on a corpse on the bridge that you jump off of to get out of the Painted World just after you kill Priscilla, or spare her if you want. I am, for the second time, gonna kill her in this playthrough. I just took out a really weak, low-damage weapon just to stagger her. Decided that I wanted badly enough to show off getting the tail. I didn't think I was going to get it, but it's going to fall off. Yeah. Really well-positioned swing. The trick is just to stagger her. So now I'm going to put the old witch's ring on, and we're going to hear for the first time what the fair lady has to say as she confuses us for her sister Quelaag.
Quelaag, my dear sister. Quelaag, what is it? Quelaag, my dear sister. The eggs, it hurts. They've gone still. I am afraid it may be too late. I am so sorry, dear sister. I'll be fine. I have you, dear sister. But promise me that you will take care of yourself. I'll be fine. But that you will. I'll be.
Next up, we're going to do Siegmeyer's quest. This, I'm showing Sense Fortress because I'm showing you which way the boulder contraption has to be facing in order for Siegmeyer to move out of Sense Fortress and on to the next location, which I believe is Anor Londo. You have to go, make sure you talk to him in Anor Londo. He will go to Firelink Shrine after you've talked to him enough in Anor Londo again to get the Tiny Beings ring, and then he comes up here to Firelink. He takes off, he heads into the swamp in Blighttown. I believe he wants 3 purple moss clumps or blooming purple moss clumps. You'll see in just a second after I talk to him, and I'll shut up for that one.
poison thought I just drifted away. You see, I'm actually in a bit of a fix. I've made it this far, but I'm short on antidote moss for the trip back. By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss? Fantastic. Thank you. A saint you are. This Knight of Catalina expresses his deepest gratitude. I shall not forget this. Please, take this, a symbol of my appreciation. Well, our fates do seem entwined, don't they? Perhaps this, too, is the will of Lord Gwyn. The poison swamp. I quicksand in there. The poison swamp. I quicksand in there.
And after you've talked to him in the swamp and given him the moss he requests, I believe you need to give him 3. He'll move down here. We've been down here earlier in the playthrough when I was going through the shortcut to Lost Izalith. You follow these winding tree trunks down, and it'll be waiting for you. There are tons of Chaos Eaters down there, and the goal here, well, you'll see.
Wait, did you defeat those dire creatures? Outstanding. You never fail to impress. Well, wonderful. This Knight of Catalina says, take this as a token of my gratitude. I feel like I'm always thanking you. I curse my own ability. I feel like I'm always thanking you. I curse my own ability.
So this is what happens if you clear all of the monsters in the pit down before you talk to Siegmeyer and get him to jump down here. The goal here is there are about 4 or 5 Chaos Eaters down here, plus this one that comes around the corner. When Siegmeyer comes down here, you talk to him. He says he pretty much says that he feels ashamed that you've been doing so much for him and that he hasn't been able to take care of himself. So he jumps down to the pit to clear a path for you to run distraction, basically. And to continue the quest, you have to once again rescue him. You have to clear all the Chaos Eaters. And what's more, you have to do it without letting him get below 50% health. So the first time I did this, what I thought was, hey, I'll just be clever and I'll kill all of the Chaos Eaters before that can happen. But I didn't realize that he would actually just not jump down. The quest would end right there if you clear them all out. So this time, when I came back to do this a second time, what I decided to do was try to soften all the Chaos Eaters up before I went down here. Because again, he'll jump down into the pit. You have to kill all of the Chaos Eaters without letting Siegmeyer go below half health, which is really tricky to do. So I decided to try to soften them all up. And it's a good plan. Just didn't work out well enough this time. So unfortunately, I tried multiple times to do this quest to show it for you guys. It does not end here. It can. If he goes below half health but he survives and you clear everything out, he'll just give you a speckled stoneplate ring again, except this time he'll give it to you down in the pit, which is annoying. However, if you complete this step of the chain, then he'll move on down to Ash Lake. You also have to, the end of his story also ties in with the end of his daughter's story. You go through his daughter's story as well, and she is also at the end of it at Ash Lake. I'm not going to spoil what happens for you guys. It's a pretty sad ending for such a jolly character, though.
Friend, I have an idea. A good one, really. I will rush those dire things, and you can slip away in the confusion. Please, friend. I owe you much more. By the honor of the Knight of Catalina, allow me to assist you. And now, I go. Don't be slow.
So now you talk to him, the Chaos Eaters are all softened up, but they still do more than enough damage. Plus, I think I might have actually hit him with the halberd and done friendly fire damage to him. By the way, don't ever try to plunging attack these guys. You notice they have big circular maws on the tops of their heads? If you try to plunging attack them, they will eat you. They will devour you. So, sorry I couldn't show the entire quest off. I tried multiple times. Just didn't work out. And that's not the last time, unfortunately, I'm going to be saying that this episode.
What? You? Didn't you get away? Well, you saved me once again. Dear me, what can I say? I have failed you. My dear little...
And one good, botched side quest deserves another. So now we move on to Logan's. I'm here talking to Griggs because it was needed for me to trigger Logan moving to the Duke's archives.
Only before I leave, there is one thing I wish to do. You see, Master Logan has left most of his books. With them, I could teach you Logan's sorcery. You have done much to assist me. Before I leave on this journey, I will teach you all that Logan has to share. Oh, hello. You made it. Then let us begin. As promised, I shall bequeath Master Logan's...
So one trigger to get things progressing is you have to buy up all the spells. I'm going to be doing that with Logan later on. The same goes for Logan later on, which is part of why I didn't completely finish Logan's side quest.
Thank the heavens. Finally, his wish has been granted. I suppose he has his head buried in those tomes. That's always what made Master Logan happiest. Ah, I can just imagine him now. 2 things are required for sorcery. First, you must equip a wand. Second, you must attune a sorcery. Then you will be ready to fire away. Oh, and don't forget to aim. 2 things are required for sorcery. First,
So 14 minutes into the Seath episode, you can see Logan is in the cell at the bottom of the spiral tower, the spiral staircase.
Hello there.
For some reason, when I came back here, he like the cell was still locked. I unlocked it. Logan was gone. He had already moved here, and I don't know what triggered that. I don't know what triggered him to somehow escape his cell and move here prematurely. This area is right before the Crystal Forest area. So the next step in the quest involves you buying every spell of his. I didn't have the souls. I really didn't want to grind them all out. When you buy all of his spells here in the book room in the Duke's archives, he moves on to the first room that you encounter Seath in, the one where Seath has to kill you unless you do the exploit the Duke's archives, or the Duke skip to skip that encounter.
It is an effect of the primordial crystal, a sacred treasure pillaged by Synergies when he turned upon the ancient dragons. So only by destroying the primordial crystals can you so much as scratch his hide. And it so happens the primordial crystal is in the inner garden of these very archives, the Crystal Forest.
The tomes stored in these archives are truly magnificent. A great pool of knowledge. The fruits of superior wisdom and an unquenchable desire for the truth. Some would say Seath had an unsound fixation. But his work is a beautiful, invaluable resource. All progress demands sacrifice, and I certainly bear no antipathy for that wonderful, scaleless beast. The undead.
And next up, we're going to be moving away from the Botched side quests down here into the depths. So, from the area where you encounter Domhnall, from that central hub area of the sewers, going to be showing off the one major thing I missed when I was going through the depths, aside from Kirk. Kirk did not invade me in the depths. I pointed this out multiple times because I was not, because I was still hollow when I went through here. if I had killed Kirk down here, if I had gotten him to invade me, that would have been all 3 times Kirk invades you, and I would have gotten all of the items that you can get from Kirk. One thing that kept getting pointed out that I forgot to bring up over and over again, there is a special property for Kirk's armor set where if you roll into people with the armor equipped, because it's all spiked, you deal a small amount of damage to people by rolling at them. And his shield also has bleed damage on it. So if you shield bash someone with a shield, you can cause them to bleed out. Going down here, I was trying not to get too turned around. Somehow it still managed to happen. Always manages to happen to me down here. Which is why I avoid it in the first place in the initial part of the playthrough. But yeah, you come down this way, and you find the Ring of the Evil Eye. And now come back into the lava zone, into the lava bed. In the demon ruins at the very beginning. Forgot to get a couple of items. I believe this one on this island over here, hugging the wall, is just some soul, maybe a Proud Knight soul, something like that. Yeah, Proud Knight. The nice thing about going back through here and backtracking to get to the Ember I forgot about is that the Taurus demons do not respawn once you kill them. At least not these ones. I can't remember if the one guarding the Demon Fire Sage boss fog respawns. I think he does, actually. Now, skipping ahead to the forest, there are a couple items. There are a couple features of the forest I did not yet show off. For instance, I did show off plant monsters. The first thing we're going to be running after, if you hug the right wall and follow it all the way around, which is probably the easiest way to navigate it. If you're good with landmarks, you probably don't need that. Plus, you can see the item glow in the distance anyway, so, not that big of a deal. Just helps me keep on the straight path. The item glow in the distance, once we clear out a bunch more plant monsters, is gonna be the Eastern armor set. That's the armor that Shiva of the East wears. And after you get the Eastern armor set, you can continue following the edge of the cliffside around, or you can dart straight through the middle of the forest, and we're going to be making our way towards one of the final Embers that we did not get in the initial playthrough. In fact, after this one, I believe there is one left. So you go straight through the middle of the forest. You want to head towards the connecting section of the forest where Alvina is. And then once you're past the bridge, keep going straight through pretty much the middle of the forest, maybe bearing a little bit right, and you're gonna go until you start seeing the mushroom people. And when you start to see the big mushrooms, not the little baby ones, you'll see a little pond with a chest in it, and it's right there. That is gonna be the chest that contains the Ember. By the way, when you're dealing with the giant mushroom people, be careful. I think I've said this before when we've encountered them in the past. They hit like tanks. They are not to be underestimated. And they hit hard, too. And they have... You would be surprised at how far they reach. Don't underestimate their range. You see right there, he lunges. They are dangerous. I don't know how I made it away from that. I love invincibility frames. And that is the Enchanted Ember. There is one more to go. It's over here. Once you kill Seath, if you backtrack to the area where you first encounter him, you notice there's a chest in the room. This is also the room that Logan is going to be in the final part of his quest chain, and he's going to be naked in here because by being naked, he feels like he is closer to dragonhood himself. He's trying to be like Seath, and you see that over the course of Logan's questline, he slowly loses his mind and becomes hollow here in the Duke's Archives, and you fight him, and you get some cool stuff. Speaking of Logan, yeah, Logan's not here. At this point, he's chilling out in the book room. I don't know how he escaped without me freeing him, but that's a mystery for another time. Either way, though, there is one more Firekeeper soul, and it's right back there once you get that key, once you open that gate up. And now for something silly. This is just an item I missed in the initial playthrough. The chest was staring me right in the face, and I noticed while I was editing. It drove me insane. Luckily, the only thing in that chest is 20 prism stones, so who gives a shit? Now, this is the drop that I was saying made me really nervous before, but I'm on pretty much a throwaway character, so I don't really care about doing this. Dangerous little roll. You have to be pretty careful with the positioning here, because you see right behind me there's a pit. If your positioning is slightly off when you do that roll, then you'll fall into the pit. You have to make your way all the way back up to the bonfire. It's kind of a pain. This is a fun little shortcut. It's also the way that you get those items in the wheel skeleton pit that seem to be... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He was just waiting to trap me, son of a bitch. Going through the catacombs this way, this is how you get those items that you can see the item glow when I'm going through the bone wheel pit down here, and it doesn't look like there's any other way to reach them. This is how you reach them. And then there's one more, and you drop down from here. The items aren't even particularly important for being so well hidden. It's just a preset and a mace. And there is one more thing to show off down here, and that is, again, a drop that I was too nervous about making without a light source when I came through here the first time. This is the drop that you make to get down to Vamos, the skeletal blacksmith who does all the fire ascensions. So you go down to the end of the spiral staircase here, make one fall, make another to the corpse with the item on it. First, we deal with skeletons, though. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. And there's a green titanite shard. Actually, wait, I think it's 2 more drops. Yeah, it is. Deal with that skeleton, and make 1 more drop down. That's going to trigger the cutscene. Also, while I was going through this area earlier to show the shortcuts off, this happened. I am lucky that I had a bunch of homeward bones because I could not find any way to get out of this situation. And you know, even glitching through the world, you still look like a badass when you have the Black Knight items on. These guys, they can't seem to close the distance to explode on me. Oh no. That sentence is really bad out of context. Oh. But yeah, trapped down here unless you use Homeward Bone. Not sure the exact position or whatever that causes that. I think I backstabbed one of the skeletons so hard that I just went through the world. Now, going from the bonfire in the Tomb of Giants, I'm going to do a little bit of fast forwarding here just to get to the point a little bit quicker. You see patches over here on the left in the Prism Stone. This is also where that area where the Fall Gate and the axe-wielding Black Knight was earlier in the playthrough. This is the path. The path that I'm showing you is going to be the path to get to the Silver Covetous Ring. Remember, during the main part of the playthrough, I was saying I couldn't remember how you get to that glowing item in the distance. It requires yet another scary drop, made even scarier by the fact that you have to do it in the Tomb of Giants. There is an item that all playthrough long was right in front of my face and I never got. It's a really well-concealed chest, too. There is a chest right behind the giant blacksmith in Anor Londo. This chest, if I can actually get into a position to open it, contains the last of the 4 Knights' rings. Remember, there was Artorias with the Wolf Ring, Lord's Blade Kieran with the Hornet's Ring, Ornstein with the Leo Ring, and finally the Hawk Ring, which belongs to Hawkeye Goth. And without further ado, I'm gonna move on and show off the alternate ending. But of course, we have to be dressed appropriately for the alternate ending, the Dark Lord ending.
Lord, bless thy safe return. Let Cath and Fraft serve your highness. We are here to serve your highness. Let true dark be cast upon the world. Our war hath returned.
And with that, we are finally done with the Dark Souls playthrough. It's been a blast, guys. Now it's time to let the credits roll through once again. And be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, drop comments. You can click my name on the video page to check out my channel and all my other videos. Check out my playlists. I'm currently playing through Silent Hill, Knock Knock. I'm going to be playing Brutal Legend with Mike soon. There's going to be Maniac Mansion, Mega Man X4, Super Earth Defense Force coming up, and another very important thing that I should not forget to mention. On November 2nd, starting at 8 a.m. EST, I am going to be doing a 25-hour-long live stream marathon for Extra Life benefiting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So come out, join me in the chat as I play games for 25 straight hours, and maybe even kick in a few bucks to help heal sick kids. And last but not least, if you like the videos, feel free to share them with others. The channel is getting bigger all the time, and I have you guys to thank for that. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.